NXT Heatwave was wild. In fact, the whole weekend was wild, with one of the biggest takeaways being the new NXT champion, Ethan Page. I couldn't wait to tune into NXT last night to see the fallout of Heatwave and see who rises up to become the MVPs of the show. But before we dive in, I'd appreciate a like on this video, you subscribing to my bullshit, and if you hit the notification bell, you never ever have to miss one of my daily uploads. And it all helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. As always, let's start with the match results. Carmen Petrovic downs Ariana Grace. Tony D retains his Heritage Cup. In all fairness, Lexus King had no one in his corner. Gallus defeats Tyreek and Tyson. Izzy Dane takes her out of the prize, switching her focus to Tatum Paxley at ringside. Tia Hell capitalizes and makes her tap out. OTM gets an upset victory over the OC. Sol Ruka and Fallon Henley's bout dissolves into a no contest after interference from Jasmine Nix and JC Jane. NXT champion Ethan Page and Shawn Spears definitely believed in the whooping they got from Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. Other developments, Fallon Henley is completely sick of these rookies. Brooks Jensen owns his actions and he says he's going to make an impact with his second chance. So he jumps Javon Evans. Ridge Holland makes it up to the rest of Chase U by getting Tia Hell a shot at Roxanne Perez on the NXT Women's title as long as she can beat Izzy Dame, and he gets Duke Hudson a shot at Obafemi and the NXT North American Championship next week. Riley Osborne believes that Duke Hudson is going to get destroyed by Obafemi, and by the look on Duke's face, he thinks so too. Damon Kemp's character was killed off by the NQCC. You don't see it, but it's implied. Charlie Dempsey shouting, "Mistakes aren't tolerated in the NQCC," to someone stuffed in a boot. Ren Sinclair is a witness to all of this, but she more than understands the Three Monkeys. Tatum Paxley is still a fucking nut. Wendy Chu too. The war for Ava's approval continues. Stevie Turner gets Cedric Alexander a meeting with Ava Raine, and now he's officially an NXT superstar. Meanwhile, Robert Stone's organising a meeting for Ava with Ashanti the Adonis. Wesley is about to walk away before his old friends show up and they reform the Rascals. Them Gallus boys, they want problems with everybody. My elders always taught me, if you want to find a problem, look for the common denominator. Them Gallus boys are just cantankerous, let's be honest. Now they got a 6-man tag team match next week against the newly reformed Rascals. It doesn't look like Meechin and Miss Parker are done by a long shot. Ornaments is still chasing Ethan Page all over NXT, but perhaps he can get a title shot. My thoughts on the show? I was expecting a way bigger crash out from Trick Williams. He just took it on the chin. He should have put that nigga Shawn Spears through a table for fucking that up. And then Ethan Page, he should have just banged him out for having low integrity. I appreciate them acknowledging the absence of Damon Kemp and making it into a small story. In Vince's era, would have acted like the internet don't exist, like we don't know the man's been released, act like the man simply never existed. I noticed that Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice was off the show, which is unusual considering they've been doing all the heavy lifting for the women's division since the raiding by the main roster. I thought that they was going to find a way to insert Wesley into the main event scene, but I like the idea of a 75% full Rascals much more. Let them appear on TNA, let them appear on NXT, and you can let Trick Williams deal with his Ethan Page and Shawn Spears angle. Javon Evans too, there's literally about 3 to 6 months work there if done correctly. Aside from him popping up on the screen, I didn't really appreciate the obvious referencing to Joe Hendry's appearance. I was thinking that they should have probably been a bit more subtle, but that's me being a complete muppet. It was a running joke throughout the whole episode about his entire gimmick, so of course it was going to be done without tact. And as soon as I realised that fact, I was able to enjoy all the trippiness that was going on. It's good to see a TNA guy pinning one of the more important NXT superstars. I hate talking about people like this, but the reality is, on the grand scheme of things, nobody gives a damn about Stevie Turner and Tatum Paxley. And trust me, I say that with all due respect. Shawn Spears on the other hand, he somewhat matters, but believing in Joe Hendry, that most definitely matters. Oh yeah, and the jobber entrance for Shawn Spears and the new NXT champion Ethan Page. What is going on? And now for the MVPs, I'm giving 5th place to Fallon Henley. I would like to say that Fallon Henley put her big girl shoes on in the absence of Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez. She basically carried the women's division tonight. You could add Jasmine Nix and JC Jane in there too, and I was being bought off a little bit by the greatest move in NXT, the Soul Snatcher, but let's be honest, it was definitely Fallon Henley. She mashed more works last night. In 4th place, I got the NQCC. They murdered their boy, so what do you think they're going to do to me if I don't put them on the MVPs list? And real talk, has anybody even heard from Ren Sinclair? 3rd place, stepping on the podium, the new NXT champion Ethan Page. He was truly healing it up last night. Sometimes you have just got to do that basic heel one-on-one package. He had security with him, that's a typical heel move. And he was talking like he did something at NXT Heatwave. You can't celebrate them kind of victories, bro. But a heel would do that, and I loved it. Now, he left his tag team partner high and dry, so he's got a little bit to answer for next week. Trick wants him, Oro definitely wants him, and Sean Spears is not going to accept him leaving him for dead in a 2-on-1 situation. Next week, the NXT champion is going to be busy. Second place, I have to give it to Brooks Jensen. This man is as stupid as Drew McIntyre. He thought to make an impact. Let me derail the main event and take out Javon Evans. Honestly, what was he thinking? And you know that Javon is going to want to get him some next week. But where are they going with all of this? I do want to see how much more moronic carnage that this boy can create. And in first place, the MVP of the show, say his name and he will appear. And when he does, he can come and collect this MVP. He was referenced all night, he hijacked the intro, and he got the first victory over a top NXT talent in this cooperation. If Obafemi wasn't the NXT North American champion, I would tell the WWE, go do something bold. But of course, I would never allow anything to ruin Obafemi's aura. Nonetheless, Joe Hendry, he definitely left the biggest impact on NXT this week. No pun intended. Joe Hendry, congratulations on your MVP. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like, remember to subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.